Internets, hello you lovelies. I have just watched Novocaine, the newest film from Paramount Pictures, and I just saw it in theaters, and I'm really excited that one of my most anticipated movies of the year has turned out to be my favorite movie of quarter one. We are approaching the end of quarter one of 2025, and this movie is everything I loved about The Fall Guy. It is an action comedy that is so rooted in romance, and the romance element strengthens all of the rest. I love when a movie is all about the characters and then every bit of action lands twice. Every punch you feel from the recipient and the actual protagonist. I love the relationship Jack Quaid has here with Amber Midthunder. I love the supporting characters like Jacob Batalons and Ray Nicholson. I love that this movie maintains a sense of joy throughout, and it actually evolves your sensibilities with all of the details of a simple idea of what if a guy, an everyday guy, a guy that works at a bank, couldn't feel pain? What if a superhero was born out of the idea of a slice of life guy with one tiny change? And that's what I love about superhero movies. That's what I love about comic books, is one little superpower that is so mundane and so normal can change the entire trajectory of a life. And I really like that this movie takes something that our protagonist sees as a negative. Our protagonist, Novocaine, sees being unable to feel pain as something that's hindered him his whole life, and then he meets someone that changes his life. I love love stories that are before and after. I love when you meet someone and you see your stars align and change, and that happens here, but with action comedy. This happens here, but with the ability to feel that joie de vivre of life, that magic moment when you meet someone, and then it becomes this action comedy that's this incredible mix of like heist film and love story and superhero film, but on new IP. I think this new age of superhero film is actually strengthened by having stuff that is outside of IP, outside of adaptation of comic books, outside of the graphic novel world, get to have a full big blockbuster run and a full theatrical experience that feels like a comic book movie. And Jack Quaid, man, you know him from The Boys, you know him from Hunger Games, you know him from so many things, this year's Companion, you know him from lots of stuff. So it feels like the right time for this guy to become an absolute movie star. Like, it's such a special moment to see someone go from playing Wee Huey and from playing the guy that kills Rue and from playing a guy in the Scream movies to a full-fledged movie star that's above billing, that is on every poster, and he absolutely has the charisma. He absolutely has the charm. And what I really liked was it's a difficult role to land both. I don't feel pain, but I need to feel emotional pain. I don't feel physical things, but how would that affect me physically in a Chaplin, Jackie Chan-esque comedy routine? And it has a lot of that Jackie Chan comedy sensibilities. Like, when you see a Jackie Chan comedy, you're like, what would he do with all these different set pieces? What would he do with all these props in the environment? And Jack Quaid gets to do that, but with all the innate charm and comedy that we see him do in other movies. But Jack's also like a dude that has a comedy group. Like, he actually has a live action comedy troupe in LA, which is not as common as you might think. And all of that skill, all of those innate abilities to add comedy to things comes into play here, because every action set piece adds a comedy element that really allows the film to feel really lived in. It allows things to feel fun and vibrant, and there's so many ad-libs and so many moments that are almost like when you're playing a video game and your lead character gets to throw in a zinger, but in this case it's live action as Jack. And all of that works better because Amber Midthunder is so wonderful and also just as charming and also just as lively, and their relationship and their chemistry is so strong that you want things to work out. You want this heist to go a certain way, you want this chase to go a certain way, you want to believe in these things, and Amber Midthunder's chemistry with Jack makes you care so much about the relationship that's just blossoming in this film. The date scenes are amazing, their chemistry is amazing, you want them to do well because you want to believe in love, just like Novocaine does, just like you see in your character. You actually get to connect and see yourself in this character. Then you've got supporting characters like Jacob Batalons. This was really fun because Jacob Batalons basically goes from guy in the chair to guy doing stuff out of the chair. The arc of Jacob Batalons' career, from obviously being an iconic part as Ned in the Spider-Man films, it feels like the first act or so of this film knows that's how you experience Jacob Batalons. And then once he comes into play and once things actually get cooking with Jacob, it's the evolution of the guy in the chair trope, but in a really fun way where the friendship, the bromance, that chemistry, that gamer chemistry, that 2025 as hell online chemistry where people spend so much time online that when they meet each other there's a brotherhood that is played full that's playful and played in full in such an interesting way in this movie. And then you've got Ray Nicholson. Ray Nicholson is our bad guy. Ray Nicholson could have been a one-note, this is a guy that's robbing a bank, but instead he's having so much joy in what he's doing. There's such a mania, there's such a maniacal madcap energy. You're actually invested in the bank robbers. You add a little Special Forces love, you add a little Home Alone references, you add some things in the action and the heist, and you've got a film where you've got a lead in Jack Quaid, you've got great supporting cops, you've got a genuine romance and chemistry and love interest in Amber Midthunder, you've got a fantastic best friend in Jacob Batalons, but then with Ray Nicholson, you've got an entire backstory implied with the bank robbers that add to your leads, and the whole thing becomes this really madcap 90s, early 2000s action adventure that frankly they don't make as much anymore unless it's investing in an IP. And now this feels more like an 80s movie where the above the line talent gets to be the IP. The Jack Quaid name, the Amber Midthunder name, the names get to be the characters you know and love, so that you don't have to have this based off a comic or graphic novel. So to me, this is my favorite movie of the first quarter. This is a movie that I think will stand the test of time of this superhero era where you get to wonder, what twist and turn is going to happen next, all while being very well directed, all while being written to have zingers, all while having very quotable lines, all while being action-packed and intense, but in a way where you're not wondering like, oh, when this movie ends, what's the Easter egg? Oh, when this thing ends, like, what's the connectivity? I love comic book movies. I love graphic novels. You guys know that if you're watching this channel. But it's also nice when a movie gets to be an original thing that you're not waiting for the to be continued. You're not waiting for the what's coming up next. So for me, this was my favorite movie of the first quarter because it combines all the things I love about IP and about graphic novels and about the joy of the boys and the joy of what Amber Midthunder did in Prey and the actual menace and mania of what Ray Nicholson means and the energy of Jacob Batalons as a best friend, but it puts it in a brand new box and an IP I'm actually invested in. I would watch the hell out of a Novocaine 2. I would be so invested in more of this world, and I loved seeing Jack get to play and be a leading man. It was great to see Jack get to flex his comedy muscles, his improv muscles, his action muscles, all of the training he's done in being a superhero in such a fun way. It is well deserved to be the guy above the line. It is well deserved to see dude on the poster and getting to thrive. And Amber Midthunder should already be a household name. And it's really cool to see a movie that I know will be, oh, I forgot they were in that. That's where their career started with so many people. So really, really enjoyed this. Please, if you like this review, leave a comment below. I would love to hear what you thought of the experience of Novocaine. This embargo drops really early. This movie's not out for another week, which means they trust in it. So I'd love to hear what you thought of the film when you see it next week. I'd love for you to leave a like on this video so the algorithm's like, hey, this guy does movie reviews. And most of all, hit that subscription bell so you can watch more movie reviews, more comic reviews, and more TV reviews, including stuff like Novocaine. I had such a great time. Thank you to Paramount for having me. Thank you to Novocaine for making an original IP that's an action, romance, comedy. This is this year's fall guy, and that's the highest praise I can give. Much love, y'all. I'll see you soon.